Good evening. Welcome to our winter concert. My name is Tony Yarbrough. I'm the Director of Instrumental Music. And on behalf of Mrs. Kalasek, Mr. Guillory, and myself, we'd like to welcome you tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Please help me welcome the 5th grade band to the stage. The 5th grade band is off to an amazing start, and I want to just tell you a little bit about what we've done, and I know you've heard lots of interesting things at home, and so to kind of explain what we've done, it may seem like we move very slowly at first, and we do. We're establishing great habits of fundamentals that will last for years to come. And I think you'll see that when we finish our portion of the performance. The middle school band will play for you, and you'll get to see that progression. But the kids have done a great job this year. We have to learn a lot of things and practice repetitions on lots of different elements to get this foundation started, from how we sit, to how we hold the instruments, to how we form our embouchures and face muscles, and how we breathe, and percussion, how they hold sticks and mallets. And while it's relatively simple, it's very specific. And so we have to practice repetition after repetition after repetition. And so we're off to an amazing start. We're kind of ahead of where I was hoping we would be as far as just getting things established. We have a great routine going, and we're going to just demonstrate a few things and then play a little bit of music. One of the first things that we've learned, and you may have noticed this, is the way the kids sit. There's a very specific way that we present ourselves on stage. When the conductor steps on the podium, you'll see the students move to what we call a ready position, where they're very attentive and sitting up straight. And you'll see when my arms come up, they go to a playing position. And we'll do a little bit more of our warm-up procedure that you've kind of seen already. We've learned about 5 notes. We've learned how to articulate with tonguing, and learned some rhythmic things and how to be very stable on these notes. And again, while it seems like we may not have learned a lot, we are establishing that foundation that will last a very long time. So we're going to just do a brief little demonstration of our warm-up procedure, and then we'll play some music for you. So the first thing you'll see is what we do every day, our just general warm-up. So you'll watch that. Demonstrating how we're keeping things stable and making everything steady, and our notes sound characteristic to the instruments. And then we progress through a series of our first 5 notes that we've learned, from which we can play a lot of different songs. So here's our sort of 5-note warm-up. This is line 2 descending. Incorporate on top of that some articulation so that we can start playing some rhythms. We do this with tonguing and percussion with different sorts of strokes with their instruments, with their mallets. And so we're going to play this line again in 4 notes like we usually do. Here we go. 1, 2,
Good evening, I'm Sharon Kalasek, and it's a pleasure to work with your children. I work with the woodwind players mostly. I've been working with some brass as well this year. The kids have done a wonderful job, and they're picking up very quickly, and they're very excited. So we feel very fortunate and very blessed to get to work with your kids. Tonight we're going to go ahead and start with Good King Wenceslas, and you're going to get to hear the whole ensemble together the first time through. Second time through is just the focus on woodwinds. Third time through is brass, focuses on brass, and then once again we'll play it again the fourth time at the end. So it is repetitious, but we want you to hear the different groups. So without further ado, Good King Wenceslas.
It's always so much fun for me to hear the progression again from what you heard back in August to something you can actually recognize, you know, an actual song, right? So the next piece of music is a bit more complex. It's fairly short, a little arrangement of Up on a Housetop. And the reason that this is a little more difficult, this has expanded the range from 5 notes to 6 and added a bit more complex rhythms from quarter notes and half notes to now some 8th notes. And in addition, added some dynamic changes, which we're hoping to be able to perceive. But you'll see the progression, and we hope you enjoyed this short version of Up on a Housetop. Thank you so much. You know, again, it's pretty amazing. You know, we see the students together roughly 40, 45 minutes every other day during the school year, and so we've seen them 20-something times so far. And I just want you to know that's really amazing progress. It usually takes quite a bit longer to learn to play an instrument. A musical instrument takes many, many, many months and years to master, and they are well on their way. So I'm very, very proud of what they've done so far. I wanted to also thank some of our adjunct teachers, Mr. Mike Matner, who's helping with the woodwinds, Mr. Russ Blanchard is helping with the brass, and so we've got a lot of extra help. You know, sometimes we have overlaps with the upper school band and fifth grade band classes, and so we have a lot of help, and so I could not do what we do with these students without their help. So the last selection we have is by far the most complex because we've introduced harmony and multiple parts. There are 3 different parts to this arrangement of Jingle Bells. We have an A part, which is the main melody. We have a B part, which is a harmony, which is the same rhythm as the melody but different notes. And so sometimes that could be very confusing for the students when they're hearing other notes happening at the same time they're playing their notes. So this is quite a big jump to this level. And then we have a C part, which is sort of the foundation played by our low instruments, our trombone, euphonium, and tuba low brass. That provides the foundation for our sound and makes the band sound full, kind of the most important part to making the band sound big and powerful. And of course, the percussion section playing a multitude of different instruments. You'll hear sleigh bells, snare drums, you've heard bass drum, you've heard some of the keyboard xylophone instruments. So thank you again for coming. After we complete this piece of music, the 5th graders, band students will go up and join you in the audience sitting right up here, and the middle school students will come down. You'll hear the middle school band then play a short version of what we played, of our warm-up, and then you'll hear some selections. And again, you'll get to see that progress of what it will be like as the students get older. So thanks again for coming. This is our arrangement of Jingle Bells. quarter notes. One, one, please help me welcome to the stage the middle school band. Thank you so much. This has been a very busy semester. As I'm sure you're all aware, we've played a bunch of pep band football games and had a Grandparents' Day performance. And those performances that you've seen are really only the tip of the iceberg. We've done a ton of other stuff, learned a lot of other music. We've got some big events coming up. And I'll tell you a little bit about those things as we go. But let's go ahead and get started with our first piece of music, and I'll introduce Ms. Kalasek for that piece. thank you. So some of the things I was telling you, we work on a lot of skills that we need to be able to play any piece of music. You heard me say this about the fifth grade band, and that continues. Throughout the entire musician's career, we work on the skills we need to be able to play any piece of music. And so we're constantly working on tone quality production, articulation exercises, balance, style, as well as technique, fluency on scales on their instruments, for example. And so these are all skills that we put into place on every piece of music we play. So some of the music we've actually learned pretty quickly. As you know, we've played a lot of pep band games and did a lot of music for that, and now we have a whole new set of music. Additionally, the students are working on TPSMEA honor band audition etudes. And so what that is, the Texas Private School Music Educators Association holds an audition for an honor band, and all of the schools in the south part of the state, which includes Houston, over to Austin and San Antonio, all the way down to Corpus Christi area. We send in recordings of the students playing 2 pieces of music. Those get compared, and then the very top musicians get selected for an honor band, which will have a performance in January. And so these students will be doing some recording of their etudes next week. And so just as a side note, and I expect this to happen again this year, out of the, I believe, 48 members of the TPSMEA Honor Band last year for middle school, I think 40 of them were Cooper students. So we're doing very well. These are some of the finest middle school musicians in the state. And so we're so fortunate and proud of them for everything they do. They'll tell you sometimes in rehearsals get pretty intense, and we get pretty strict, and we're pretty focused in driving the students, but the result is amazing. And so we really appreciate their work this semester. It's been wonderful. I hope you enjoy our next piece of music called Contempo.
Our next piece is called Santa at the Symphony, and it's basically just a conglomeration of some very famous classical pieces, like by Tchaikovsky and Beethoven, mixed in with a lot of Christmas carols. I hope you enjoy Santa at the Symphony. I know Mr. Yarborough mentioned how our students are getting ready to try out for the private school middle school honor band. And we did have 2 students who tried out for the TMEA, which is really all public school and private school schools that have the opportunity to try out. So we had Kason Wang on saxophone, and Kason did very well. Kason, would you please stand? And he made the region band. And then we also had Luke Milan on French horn. Luke, would you please stand? Luke also scored 3rd overall, which means that he qualified to play in the orchestra as well. So right before Thanksgiving, he played in the region orchestra as well. We're super proud of these young men for trying out. It is very difficult. There was probably about 150 saxophone players and about 100 French horn players, and they did extremely well, and they learned 2 sets of music. So congratulations, guys. We're really proud of you, and we look forward to all our other students that are trying out for the middle school, private school region band to see their successes as well. And we'll continue with, what's our last song? Jing, Jing, Jingle, sorry.
Before we play our last piece, a little bit about this. Jing Jing Jingle is, we've we thought, well, the students are doing really well. Let's try something in a totally different style. So this is in a jazz swing style, completely different feel, more complex and different styles of rhythms. And I wanted to also take this opportunity to once again welcome Mr. Aaron Guillory. He's back here on drum set. He's our new percussion teacher. Thank you. You know, we were sad to see Mr. Beam, our last percussion teacher, leave, but Mr. Beam recommended Mr. Guillory, and he's been fantastic. He also plays with the Houston Symphony, is an active musician through the city, and so we're very lucky to have him on staff working with our percussionists. And so we invited him to play drum set on this, and so we hope you enjoy Jing Jing Jinkle. Thank you so much for coming. We have a brief intermission now before the 6th grade band and the upper school wind ensemble play. Thank you so much for coming. You are welcome to stay for that portion if you wish. If not, have a safe and happy holiday season, and we'll see you again in the spring. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the second portion of our concert. This portion will begin with a percussion ensemble of middle school and upper school percussionists, followed by the sixth grade band and the wind ensemble. At this point, I'd like to introduce our percussion teacher, Mr. Aaron Guillory.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. My name is Aaron Guillory. I was told I had to get festive, and so I was given a hat. It's good to be here tonight and to be a part of this school. Just real brief, Mr. Yarbrough talked about it earlier, but it's about 2 days before the school year started, and I got offered this job from Mr. Beam, or just to come and check it out. And I've been a freelance performer for the last 10, 12 years, private instructor, and I've turned down a lot of jobs throughout my time, but all I heard was good things about Cooper. He just talked them up, and how great these kids are. And I'll tell you, ever since I've gotten here, it's been fantastic. They've really worked hard for me. There's a lot of talent on stage. We have a good time. They do a ton. They learn how to play drumline. They play keyboard instruments, drum set. We have private lessons on all these things, and like everything I throw at them, they get it. So, I'm just super happy to be here, and sorry, I'm not nearly as refined of a talker as Mr. Yarbrough is, but we wanted to get y'all in the holiday spirit by playing a percussion ensemble piece which features our 7th through 12th graders. We got Tim on drum set and everybody else on keyboards, most of the upper schoolers and a few 7th graders on keyboard, Ian on timpani, and a bunch of guys on a bunch of toys. So you'll hear a lot of kind of cartoon sounds in the middle of it. It's a really fun piece, and we hope you enjoy. And yeah, have a good time and happy holidays.
right, thank you very much again for coming. At this point, I would like to have you help me welcome the 6th grade band to the stage. Been very impressed with the 6th grade band so far this year. And before we start, I need to point out an error we made on the program. Somehow we left our French horn section in the band off the program, and I feel terrible about that. We can print new programs for your families if you'd like, guys. But could I get Michael Bergfield and Cam Anderson to stand so I could recognize them? So sorry, guys. I don't know how that happened. We had several people proofread, and I don't know what happened. You guys can have a seat. Thank you. Very impressed with the 6th grade band this year. We've continued with the skills they've learned in 5th grade, and as I've been telling the audience so far this year, or at this concert, at the previous concert with 5th grade and middle school band, we work a lot on the skills we need to be able to play any music. We work on fundamental tone qualities and articulation and rhythmic concepts, and put all these skills together into playing some music. So we'd like you to enjoy our first piece of music tonight. We have 4 short selections for you, and we hope you enjoy. I'll give the percussion just a second to continue moving. They had a lot of equipment they've got to move around, so we'll start just shortly.
Good evening. I'm Sharon Kalasek. I just wanted to say a few words about the sixth grade band. These children are absolutely awesome. They come in early to practice. They come in early they have recess. Sometimes at the end of their lunch, they have a little recess time. They're always early to band. You know, the older kids are not so much early to band. These guys are there usually 10 minutes early. They stay after school and they practice. They're really excited about playing, and it really warms my heart to see this, to see the excitement. And so I hope we can really continue that. So, such a pleasure to work with them. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Yarborough.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to just give a special thanks to Mr. Tim Liu back here, our junior percussionist from the Wind Ensemble, covering for someone who's out this week. So thanks, Tim. He's one of our all-state drum set players, so he is a great musician, and he's just reading this music. So, you know, it's a testament to the skills we teach. We're teaching the skills that the students need to be able to play any music. So our next piece of music, we hope you enjoy Christmas Angels. Thank you so much. I say every year that one of my favorite parts of my job is to watch the progression and see the progression of students from the 5th grade all the way through the 12th. And so if you can think back to, you know, just a little over a year ago when these students were fresh starting and could hardly do anything, and now they're playing some pretty complicated music. It's ever advancing and evolving, and they're doing such a nice job. After we play our last piece of music, there will be a short transition. The 6th grade band will move up, and the wind ensemble will come down, and we'll do a just short warm-up, and then we'll continue with the wind ensemble. Thank you again for coming, and we have one last piece of music with the 6th grade band. Okay, short transition from sixth grade to wind ensemble. Please help me welcome to the stage the John Cooper School Wind Ensemble.
as you can hear, that was Scarborough Fair, and it's an English folk song, and I really didn't know the folk song before Simon and Garfunkel sang the song, so some of you may remember that song, but I have a secret to tell. That was probably our first time to get all the way through it. The kids have done a great job. That's a lot of music, and I hope you'll enjoy the program. There's a lot of music here tonight, a lot of different pieces, different textures, different ethnicities. I think you're going to enjoy this. So here we go. We're going to go on with Midnight Sleigh Ride.
Okay, the next piece of music is really interesting. It's a medley of Middle Eastern folk songs. You're going to hear a variety of different colors and textures featuring a lot of different sections and instruments, a lot of ethnic instruments in the percussion section you see featured up here. This is a really interesting arrangement of Arabian dances. At one point, it will sound like a marketplace somewhere in the Middle East. So this is a really interesting arrangement. I hope you enjoy Arabian dances. Thank you so much. It's like I've said, it's so much fun to see and hear the progression of the kids from one year to the next. And you heard the 6th grade band. One year you'll be doing this too, so that's pretty exciting to be able to think you might be able to do something like that. Very, very proud of these students. It's been such a busy semester. We've had all the pep band games and all those events and all those obligations and all the time spent practicing and time in class learning not just the pep band music, but all of this music. We've learned a few other tunes along the way as well. And on top of all of that, the students are working on audition etudes for the TPSMEA All-State Band. They just finished up recording. We submitted recordings to the state on Wednesday, yesterday. And so we have most of the students here who have submitted recordings, and we're anxiously awaiting results. We'll do the judges will judge our students over the weekend. In case you're not sure, this is an event that's all private or independent schools in Texas. It's about 30 schools. All have students who submit recordings to the state. Those recordings are evaluated and judged, and the very, very best students from any of these schools are selected on each instrument. It'll end up being about 100 students selected out of over 1,000 that entered the audition process. So we're very excited. We have some really, really fine musicians here. Last year, just as a reference, the All-State Band had roughly 100 students, and we had, I think it was 22 All-Staters, just from one school, almost 20% of the band. So we have absolutely some of the finest musicians in Texas right here on the stage. So, yeah. We've pushed the students very hard, and they've done very well this semester. So after tonight, we've got a little break. We've got a few days of just being able to relax in class and maybe play some other fun music. And thank you so much for coming out. None of this would also be possible without all the parent support, as well as all the support we get from the administration and this department. The Performing Arts Department at the John Cooper School is wonderful to be a part of. We share spaces, we cooperate. This ensemble, we're able to use this stage for rehearsals. We don't really fit in our room, and the department has been very gracious in helping us share this space, and so we've got plenty of rehearsal opportunity, and so it's been wonderful. I want to thank all of the people in our department for sharing this space. It's been a great semester, and thank you all again for coming out. We hope you have a very safe and happy holiday season. Our last piece of music is a lot of fun. It's called Christmas Lights. It features a couple of different instruments. We have Occam right behind me on guitar. We have Henley on bass guitar. And we have Tim Liu back here on drum set. This is a really fun arrangement, sort of a medley of Christmas tunes called Christmas Lights. Thank you again for coming out. We hope you enjoy. Thanks again for coming out. Have a great, happy holiday season. Thank you.